Hello everyone, Rich here again, and I'm going to show you how to use coordinates in your GPS to get exactly where you want to go. Now the first thing you're probably wondering is why? Why would I want to do this? I will give you an example. Let's just say I wanted to go to the movie theater in a specific mall, so Citrus Park Mall, Tampa, Florida, which is not too far away from me. Okay, Westfield Citrus Park, that's the one. Click, zoom, and there is the mall. So I will zoom in a little more, a little more. There it is, Regal Cinemas. Okay, drag the map down a little bit. Now here's the problem. If I told my GPS, take me to the cinemas, would it take me right here? No, it would not. It would take me to the entrance of the mall property, which is actually right here or way on the bottom, right here. So it would drive me all over sorts of creation, do a complete 180 around the lot, almost a 180 just to get here. When it would be easier just to take me exactly to the parking area so I could just walk into the movie theater and see the movie. Okay, anyway, when you use coordinate data in the GPS, you can you get the coordinates from Bing Maps first. Google Maps has this too, but Bing does it a little better, and I'll show that in a moment. So when you punch in coordinates to a GPS, whether it is a smartphone or whether it is a standalone like a Garmin Nuvi, and the example device I will be showing is a Garmin Nuvi 40 LM, which is a low-end Nuvi. You don't have to have an expensive GPS to use this feature. It's just a lot easier because any road that shows in Bing Maps is going to show up in your GPS. As long as you are on a road, you can be navigated to it. So with that said, let me show you the Garmin way. Now this is a series of screenshots from my Garmin Nuvi 40 LM. Now on the main screen you would tap where to, and then on the next screen the down arrow. On the next screen coordinates, and on the next screen you have your coordinate data that you can input. You just touch this field for either north or south, and then touch the field on the bottom for east or west. Now there is a little bit of confusion with this for people who have never done this before. So the first thing you would do, touch the format button and choose the top one, which is decimal. So you have direction, ddd.ddddd degrees, and this is decimal degrees of how Bing Maps shows coordinates and how Google Maps shows coordinates, which is why you would use this one. There's only three, so just pick the one that has the decimal in it with D's all surrounding it. The other ones are M's, and this one is which is minutes, and this one is minutes and seconds. So you have direction, minute, and then direction, minute, second. As for which one is the most accurate, well, that's up for debate. I use the degrees because that's what the maps online use. Okay. Now there's only one thing you have to know about this, and it's very simple to understand. The top field is a north or a south. The bottom field is an east or a west. Easy enough to understand. When you are given coordinate data from Bing Maps or Google Maps, if the first number is positive, it's north. If it's negative, it's south. On the second number, if it's positive, it's east. If it's negative, it's west. That's it. That's all you have to know. You might be a little confused at this point. You won't be in a moment, because I'll show you how it works. Okay, so back to Bing Maps. So now I could go to bird's eye view, but bird's eye doesn't give me the coordinate, so I'm going to go to an aerial view. So I just hover over the bird's eye menu arrow and switch to aerial. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'll go to bird's eye for a moment just to show you what that looks like. Okay. From this, I can see that this is a parking garage. Here's the cinemas. But the problem is that I don't get coordinate data from this view, so that's why I choose aerial. You can choose either road to get your coordinate data or aerial. Aerial is the better of the two because you can actually see what's going on a little better. If you see things that are blocked out like this, like I just showed you, that's a parking garage. That's when you make a quick jump over to bird's eye just to see what the hell that is and say, oh, okay, I know it's a parking garage now. And then switch back to aerial. Anyway, any one of these highlighted roads here can be navigated to with your GPS. So I'm just going to zoom in. Now the cinemas are right here. So I'm going to pick a parking area that's right next to the entrance of the building. Now the entrance of the building, now this is from the inside of the mall here. This is from the outside of the mall, and here is the entrance portion right there. So I want to park as close as I possibly can to that entrance because I'm lazy and I don't feel like walking a big distance. So here we go. We see cars parked here. This is a parking area. Yes, it is. Okay. So I will choose right here, and I will simply right click once. There's my coordinate data. Now notice how it's formatted. 28.069371 degrees. What direction? North. Why? Because it's a positive number. There is no negative in front of it. If this was a negative number, it would be what? South. Remember, the first number is north or south. That's it. The second number is a negative 82.575 degrees, which means it is what direction? West. Remember, the second number is east or west. East is a positive, west is a negative. Right. So, when I go to my GPS, I know that the first number is a north and the second number is a west. Now, in the west area here, the only thing that is now, I'm trying to think of the best way to explain this. They always, not always, but almost always, at least in America, start with a 0. So west, this is not an O, that is a 0. West 082.41956 degrees. Why it does that? Because there are certain parts of the planet that would have a 1 here. I am not on part of the Earth which has that coordinate, so it's a 0 for me. So that's that as far as that's concerned. The other thing is that on most GPSs, that the most places you can use after the decimal is 5 places. So you'll notice that after the decimal, I only have 5 numbers on each one. But you will notice that on the map, what you're given can be 6. That's okay. Just use the first 5. So I would punch this in as 28.06937. And the second one is West 82.57510. And just stop there. It will still get you to where you need to go, and it will work out fine. So, using coordinate data is really good when you want to get absolute precise directions of where you want to go. I personally find it very useful for things like big parking lots, like in malls. I find it very good when going to areas I have not been before. I'll see it on a map, but I will, like if someone invites me to some restaurant somewhere, if it happens to be way over in St. Petersburg, Florida, and I try to scope out all the parking areas there, and I mark them before I go, so I know where to go to park. Because some restaurants, I mean, for example, restaurants, some of them are right on the street, and they have no parking whatsoever. Where do you park? Of course, your friend's not going to tell you that, being the good friend he is, right? So you got to kind of figure this out for yourself. So if, and this especially is good for people that freak out while driving. And you know what I mean. If you're the type of person that really white knuckles it behind the wheel of a car and you're always, oh God, where am I? Where am I supposed to go? This is a godsend for you because then you can get absolute precise directions to within 3 meters, a 3-meter resolution. Well, not on the iPhone because the iPhone's GPS sucks, but on everything else, Android smartphones, Garmin PNDs, TomTom PNDs, PND meaning personal navigation device. Even older Magellans will do it. You can just punch in the coordinate, get exactly where you're supposed to go, and feel confident behind the wheel of your car. So that's it. Use coordinates. They're lovely. They're awesome. Oh, and one final note. When you actually hit the next button, if you were using a Garmin, you can obviously name it whatever you want. It's not going to show up as all this gibberish stuff. You can give it a friendly name, so when you put it into the favorites on your Garmin or your TomTom or your Magellan or whatever, Android, whatever you have, name it whatever you want, and you will have ultra precise coordinate data to get you where you need to go.